Percent of the time, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
It's not. It
Gets the people going.
You are now listening to Diagnonsense.
Then we would just be idiots saying nonsense.
With Kurt Honak.
Damn it.
And Isaac Smolden.
I am also here.
Thank you for tuning in to Diagnonsense. I'm Isaac Smolden. I'm joined by case manager Kurt Honak.
Yeah. Promotion. Battlefield drum roll.
Yes. And we have someone new with us. We have our newest client navigator. Lou is here also.
Greetings.
Hi, Lou. How's it going?
It's great. How's everybody else doing?
I'm doing good. Kurt, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Good.
It's fall. I like fall. Fall's my favorite season, actually.
Man, when it was sunny outside yesterday and you got like the snow halfway down the mountains and then it's super crisp outside.
And it's like you're never like overheated either.
Love that.
Because the weather's nice. So.
Love that.
Yeah, colors are nice.
You're probably a overheat
like
type of guy.
A
sweaty boy during the summer.
Well, it gets hot up here. I mean, yeah.
Does it?
With the sun.
If you're an Alaskan, it gets hot.
Yeah.
Anybody else comes up here during the summertime,
100%.
they're like, this is too cold.
I was in Bozeman last week and it was 75 degrees.
Okay.
And I was like,
This
man,
is
in
enough.
September? I forgot about this.
Oh, yeah.
That was nice when I used to live down there and it was 75. Hey, you know what else is going on this week in the fall time? Walk for Recovery, Saturday, 12 p.m. Be there. Target
Where?
parking lot to start walking up to TNR's Outpatient. Free food, free t-shirt, door prizes, speakers. It'll be a good time. 12 o'clock, Target parking lot is where they're starting. Or you can just go to TNR's Outpatient. But it's more fun if you walk through town and you wave the sign.
If it's your first time in recovery, you have to recover.
Mandatory. Lou, tell me a little bit about yourself.
That's a great question because I'm still figuring out myself.
Man, bars.
I just got back to the Valley in May. So before I was in the Valley, I was out in Dillingham doing legal advocacy. So I got to work hand in hand with people who are experiencing like DV and SA situations, and I got to walk them through what the like legal process of what their paperwork and things like that looked like. So it was very kind of intense.
Yeah, I imagine that it would be.
Yeah, and there's a lot of new things that I got to experience, not just with that type of work, but with like the culture and like the lifestyle out there, because it's Dillingham. It's very small. It's it's very small. So not a lot to do. There's only 2 stores, like 1 gas station, I think. But I did that for maybe almost a year and then switched out to the Valley and found my house and got to experience, or I'm getting to experience what this type of work is like, working hand in hand with the youth out here. And I personally have experienced some of the things that our clients have experienced. So it's nice to be on the other side of things now and just like be there for them. So I feel like it's a really great opportunity for me to grow as an individual and also like just be there for our community with the youth.
Yeah. Well, welcome. We're throwing it back to our roots today, Kurt, because we're doing a soul mental health topic. No gimmick, no book, no video game. It is busy right now. So school's just starting. We've got a ton of clients. Lou's the only navigator, so she's running around all over the place.
Like you'll see me, but you will not see me.
We've got events every single week. We've got Uncorked coming up. So we're talking about self-care today, which I'm sure we've touched on in the past, but it's important when we're so busy and it's fall and it's school and it's that time of year. Everything's picking back up again. I think we all know self-care is important, but let's just talk self-care strategies. Kurt, what are you doing right now as a self-care strategy?
Well, lately it's been more like unplugging, which is like I like to keep my my brain busy, right? Like
Right.
I'm very analytical, very like cognitive. Like I like to like chew on stuff like mentally. But lately, yeah, I don't know. I found a lot of peace in just like turning off YouTube and not feeling like I have to play a video game. I do a lot of like, I explore like I like exploring like intellectual topics, but lately, I don't know. I've had a lot more peace just kind of like turning it off a little bit, because I think you can get in over your head too. I love podcasts. Like we're doing a podcast, but like I've been watching so many podcasts that I'm like, sometimes it's nice to just have quiet. So that's new for me because I've never had that before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do like to be engaged with stuff, but that's a new one for me. And I have to be like, okay, I don't need to pick up my phone for 5 minutes. I have to be like, okay with that and be like, doom scrolling for an hour probably isn't going to make me have anything in my life that I didn't have before I started doom scrolling an hour ago.
I really wanted to touch on that. That's where I was going to go because, because
we're both doing it.
I'm like having to fight that, right? It's so easy right now with, TikToks, YouTube shorts, Reels. Watch all of our TikToks though. Just watch the My House ones. They're super informative. Those are the only ones that you should be watching. No, I've had that thought a couple times in the last month where I've been like, I'm just sitting at home and all I'm doing is
right.
Like
and
a zombie.
I'll look at the clock and it's an hour and a half later. Oh, I'm like, what did I get out of that?
Right.
Did I learn anything? No.
You're like,
was I entertained? I'm like breaking it down by percentages. I'm like, what percentage of those clips did I actually find funny or entertaining? It's like this many, right?
It's like
the problem is if I try to like click on one of those, and then I'm like, oh, I like this person's content. I'll watch this. Well, then I slip to the next one and it's nonsense. I'm like, really, I should turn this off. And I'm like, oh, there's that person again. Sweet,
Right.
I'll watch this one too. So I am like I'm in the trenches right now, just battling to be like, if I'm at home, so you're talking about unplugging. I feel like I've been going the opposite direction where I've been playing more like video games and watching more like sports and TV.
Oh.
But I've tried to be really deliberate with what I've watched because I'm noticing that I'll have an hour and a half and I can either spend that hour and a half on this thing where I'm entertained like 10% of the time, if that, and I learn nothing, or I could watch a piece of art or watch sports or experience something in like, just playing the new Star Wars game. I've been playing a bunch of Outlaws.
It's like it requires you to have much more attention than like the scrolling. One of the things I don't like is that now if I feel like I'm on my phone, like I have to be doing something on my phone. Yeah. And it's like trained me to do that. Whereas like I used to be like, I'll sit like over the summer. I did finish like a 512 page book. So that was good. But like it bothers me because I feel like I'm spending more time than I realize with like low attention span, low like engagement stuff that like doesn't really challenge me because I have a hard time staying challenged by stuff. So
just
like in terms of
big brain,
big galaxy brain. Well, in terms of like I like things that require me to do a little bit of work thinking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and that's not what that is. It's just like,
100%. Have you found yourself struggling with that?
At home, well, I have a 2-year-old. Well, she'll be
That'll
2
keep
next
you
month.
engaged.
So that is
See, Kurt, there's your solution. Just have a kid.
Have a child.
Yeah.
That's true.
But that 9 times out of 10 is what is keeping my brain occupied. But in terms of self-care, it's a little bit different just because even though I do have a 2-year-old and she needs constant stimulation.
Same.
It makes it a little bit harder to balance like what my personal self-care looks like in terms of like, oh, I get to like unplug when I get off. Well, when I get off, I go directly to get her. And then when we get home, like I'm still being.
You still got to be on.
Right.
You can speak to that way more than Kurt and I can because I just have a cat. I mean, my wife is at home, but like,
And the cats are kind of autonomous, aren't they? Versus dogs.
He needs very little support, just as long as I feed him. So yeah, so
Roger would like to hear that.
Right.
So talk about that, because that's a whole different.
It is.
Like, how do you carve that time for yourself?
Exactly. So that's the biggest thing, is being able to recognize when I'm getting burnt out and when I really just need like maybe 10, 15 minutes to just like be by myself, or like take a drive or anything like that. Because scrolling on my phone is quite literally impossible to do, because she's either going to come and grab it, she's going to want to watch Elmo, do all of the things on the phone that she wants to do. So if I get an opportunity to like, well, she will sit there and watch Elmo. I can do that. I will give her when I need a minute, like Elmo is my go-to now. That's like her favorite thing right now. So I'll do that. And then I'll be able to like, just kind of get what I need like taken care of. So I'll like go change clothes, or I'll change into something that's a little bit comfier, make sure that I like, do all of the regular things that you're supposed to do. But that's not in terms like what I would consider like what my self-care looks like.
No, but I will say that I'm like really bad about procrastinating on laundry.
Oh my God,
I
yes.
try to stay on top of dishes, because dishes in the sink piling up is like big pet peeve of mine.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So I try to stay on top of that. I will say that I've noticed in the last year, I have found when I actually start that stuff, when it's like a Sunday afternoon and I'm just putting this away, checking this chore off, I end up finding a lot of peace and satisfaction just in that once I get going.
I agree. Because Saturday is, I have just like Saturday and Sundays off. So Saturday, I'm resting.
Right.
I am taking the time to just chill. So I'll have my partner's mom like hang out with our daughter and just be in a total space. And plus I'm pregnant, so I need to rest. I need to sleep. Like I need all of the extra rest. So taking time to rest is like my biggest thing. Like I can't take care of anything else around me in my circle if I am not mentally prepared to take on all of those challenges.
Your
for the day.
responsibilities are so much bigger than it. Should we just I
does.
feel like
She does have
let's just
more.
not talk about any of our problems the rest of this episode.
Well-
Lou, can I just listen to you and like you just tell me how it is, because like my stuff's down here. And you got like
Yeah, I had Kira's lizard for a while.
yeah, same thing actually.
and then,
being pregnant, 2-year-old, Kira's lizard,
the light,
exact same.
Yeah, see, it's not quite the same thing, but I mean, the light went out on it. And
Oh
we
my
had
God.
Oh man,
Crisis is
And I
going to
said-
pass away.
I go to bed before 8. We got it.
I'm sorry,
change this
Kurt.
lizard's light.
I'm like totally invalidating our problems, which is not very responsible of me.
Is it okay though?
No,
Did you
it's
get
fine.
to-
It's
oh,
fine.
right.
It's a bearded
The light
dragon.
is back.
Okay,
It's a tough dragon.
good.
No,
Yeah.
no, she replaced it. Yeah, no, it's fun.
No, but I
I
imagine that's difficult
Compared to having children, though, is
No,
yeah.
but it like on a serious note of not minimizing, like perception is reality, and so sometimes when you're in the minutia of like having kind of a busy week at work or doing whatever outside of work, it's something again maybe that I struggle with is I hear you and I see you and I recognize that, and the first thing my brain goes to is, man, yeah, like I've got it really easy. I'm just not going to deal with like any of my decompression stuff now, right? Like Lou's doing, pregnant, having a 2-year-old, those are big boy responsibilities. I don't but if you don't address, it doesn't matter what's going on over here. If you don't address the stuff that you need to address, even if it's an easy week for you, or even if you look around and maybe like self-minimizing the stuff that you're having to deal with can be a problem too. Definitely
Shared
something I struggle with.
responsibilities, I can say, is like one of the biggest things, because I'm only just one person. So it's feels like it can be really impossible to get everything done and then put my self-care on top of that, because there's all of these other responsibilities, but where does self-care fit in there on the list? I'm like, well, I can't do that. I can't rest until everything else is done. So being able to just really categorize and acknowledge when that, like, it's like imperative for me to like take those times to like decompress, especially after a long week. If it's gotten crazy like this week, I can say like I am so resting. Maybe even Saturday and Sunday because good Lord. But being able to have a partner, I think is like, well, for you guys, I'm not quite sure, but it's probably one of the biggest like helpful things that I get to go home to and have a partner that's constantly willing to help and like recognizes that when I need a break and is like, okay, let me step in and like you take a step back so you can go do whatever it is that you need to do so you can show up, right? Not only for yourself, but for everybody else around us. So that's the biggest thing, being able to have a healthy relationship and recognizing and having a partner that recognizes when I need to take that break, even when I like, if I don't, you know, and I'm just overstimulated and I'm just like, keep going. He's like, chill out. Like you need to take a step back. Yeah.
And it's not even, you don't want to overload your partner too, right? So it's about building out that whole support system where you've got family and you've got your friends and you're able to pull from this.
It takes a village to raise a kid. Like if I didn't have God forbid, like anything crazy happens, I never would say I regret having a child, but it really does take a village to like help you because all of the responsibilities on one person is just so, and I commend every single mom out there that's doing it with multiple kids because good Lord, I have my hands full with just my 2-year-old and that's enough, and I'm about to have my second baby, so I'm about to see what that's like next year, and I'm just trying to mentally prepare for that now.
It's not just like child raising too. Like it's everything. Like you never know when you're going to need this piece or that piece. Like you got to plant those seeds. You got to have contingency plans in place so that when you have that life event or when you're going through something or you need a hand, like you've got someone that you can check in on.
Right.
And sometimes also, you just need no one, and it's just about carving out that time for you. Like, you got to have that. Like, sometimes I got to be able to, like you were saying, Kurt, like, no podcasts, no YouTube.
Completely unplugged.
I am just like, and I hate the silence, right? I hate it. But I just got to try to find my zen and just take that time to meditate a little bit with just myself, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even I was doing audiobooks too, and I like the audiobooks, but there's something
up on that 40 Hammer lore.
There's something about some of those are narrated really well, but there's something about I think music lately. You know, what's funny is like I never really was into math in high school, but if I turn on some like music that's like the relaxed focus, and I get into that, that's been really like meditative lately. It's just like, because I didn't realize like, if you go through shorts, another thing too is like with those YouTube shorts, sometimes the volume between commercials too, it's like sometimes the volume will just blow you like, and I notice my nerves stay like a little bit heightened through that whole process. And there's something about like having that music turned down a little low that's just that focus, like relaxation music, that kind of just gets me like de-escalated. Like my nerves can just kind of like settle,
Ozzy, can you put in Kurt's relaxation music in post, please?
In the background.
Yeah.
It's either going to be pan flutes or it's going to be like Slayer, something like that in the background. So yeah, 100%. I think one more key piece that you gotta find is just taking that. Something I've been doing is just the
4 squared breathing.
For as soon as I sense myself getting worked up or stressed, angry, I'm just falling back on the breathing, man. It's huge.
Default.
Huge. Yes. And I never really focused on that before, but
Do you really like go outside, like get fresh air, or do you just like take that within that moment?
I think like more so just like moment to moment, just like just getting better at recognizing when I just need that reset, right? Like, and it is incredible, like the difference that makes. I found.
Agree. In the morning, I'll be really intentional about going outside. One thing that my dad would say to me when I was younger is like, make sure you wake. It's a good thing to wake up in the morning. It's a good thing to wake up when the sun is rising. You get the fresh air before the whole world is using it. Yeah. So I was like, dang, that's good. Yeah. So I try to really make sure to get outside before the world starts to get crazy, and you get that fresh air, and you can like just have a good outlook on like what your day is gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to be really intentional about how my day starts, because you can like, it's like, man, if you pick up energy that's not good in the morning, that follows you throughout the day. So I try not to like, I'm like, okay, if I get on my phone, I better not be opening up news and like stuff.
I've turned the new, I like have blocked that on all of my computer stuff. I was like, I just don't want to see you. Yeah. Please don't show me whatever.
If I'm looking for this, I know where to find it.
If it's serious enough, I'll find out somehow.
Yeah, somebody will tell me.
If we get invaded, like I'll notice. I won't need my computer to tell me. And like, anything else, I don't need to know about. I promise.
Somebody tell Isaac. We're good.
Moral of the story: get off your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot more than that. But if there's one thing that I'm working on right now, it's definitely that. And I think a lot of what we just went through boils down to whatever's working for you. Just be intentional about it, right? Because we're so
intentionality.
Yeah, we can be so bad about leaving that space for that, or remembering to do that, or that thing that we need to do. And you just got to slap it right to the top of that priority list. Otherwise, it starts
I feel like
slipping.
It just follows you. Like if you don't get a chance to decompress from that, like the next day, like you're gonna be even more reactive potentially. You're not gonna be as level-headed as as if you were to like just take that moment and like just chill out for a second.
100%. Just chill out. Name of the episode. Just chill out. Take a chill pill. My Kurt. Nope. Yes. I figured I'd get one in right at the end. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Okay. Lou, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
You'll be back.
I'll be back.
We'll see you again. Yeah. Thank you for listening to Diagnonsense. Can you? Is there like a fade out effect that you can do for us, Ozzy? We're like
prestige.
Just like, I just like giving. He's not here right now, so I just like giving Ozzy challenging edits to do while he's not even here, so that he goes back and he's just like he's probably rolling his eyes right now. He might have just said a swear under his breath. Just if you can like Photoshop me out in the video, and then everyone wait before you go, Kurt. Everyone just freeze. Great. We just disappeared into the ether. Awesome.